A deep understanding of CPU internals and processor architectures is invaluable for cybersecurity professionals because many modern attacks exploit subtle behaviors and design decisions at the hardware level. Let's explore why detailed knowledge about CPUs, their components, threading mechanisms, and various processor types, etc., is crucial for both analyzing and mitigating sophisticated cyber threats. We talked about the fundamental components, so the control unit orchestrates the fetch, decode, execute cycle. Knowledge of how the CPU interprets instructions and schedules operations helps in understanding how malicious code might disrupt or subvert normal operations. The ALU, Arithmetic Logic Unit. The ALU handles basic arithmetic and logic operations. Exploiting errors in ALU operations or using specially crafted instructions could theoretically lead to faults that attackers might leverage in fault injection attacks. Registers are small, high-speed storage locations within the CPU. Their correct operation is essential for temporary data storage and fast computations. Understanding register usage is key when analyzing low-level exploits, such as those that manipulate register states or bypass stack protections. Caches are small, fast memories that store frequently accessed data. The design of caches introduces side-channel vulnerabilities. There are cache timing attacks. Techniques like prime plus probe and flush plus reload exploit the timing differences in cache hits and misses to infer sensitive data, like cryptographic keys, and speculation execution vulnerabilities. Microarchitectural attacks, like Spectre and Meltdown, rely on the way caches and pipelines work in tandem. They exploit speculative execution and cache state changes to leak information across privilege boundaries. Modern CPUs use pipelining to execute multiple instructions simultaneously and speculative execution to predict future instructions. However, mispredictions and the subsequent rollback can leave traces, like residual data in caches, that attackers might exploit. Detailed knowledge here is very helpful for understanding the root causes of these vulnerabilities and for designing effective mitigations. The MMU, Memory Management Unit, is responsible for virtual memory translation and protection. Understanding how the Memory Management Unit maps virtual to physical memory, along with features like page tables and TLBs, translation look-aside buffers, is important when dealing with attacks like buffer overflows or when ensuring that memory isolation is enforced properly. Modern CPUs often support executing multiple threads concurrently on a single core, like Intel's hyperthreading, and this allows sharing of certain execution resources like caches, branch predictors, and execution units. Now, when threads share cache or predictor resources, one thread might monitor the performance characteristics of another, creating a side channel. For instance, timing differences in cache access can leak cryptographic secrets. In environments where untrusted code is run alongside trusted code, like cloud computing, thread-level interference can lead to data leakage. Mitigations often include isolating threads or flushing shared state during context switches. Knowing the exact behavior of these mechanisms helps in both implementing and testing these security features. The CPU's ability to rapidly switch between threads and processes is a double-edged sword. While it increases performance, it also means that remnants of sensitive data might linger in caches or registers between context switches, potentially opening the door for cold boot attacks or residual data attacks. Understanding scheduling algorithms and how the CPU allocates time slices can also help in detecting anomalous behavior that might indicate a time-based attack or resource exhaustion attempt. Each architecture, x86, ARM, RISC-V, has its own design philosophy. x86, complex instruction set computing, CISC design, with complex instructions and microcoded operations. This complexity sometimes leads to unexpected side effects that can be exploited. Considering ARM, This typically uses a reduced instruction set computing RISC architecture with a focus on power efficiency. ARM processors often incorporate features like Trust Zone, a hardware-based security extension that require detailed understanding to secure correctly. RISC-V is an open ISA that allows for extensibility. Its openness and modular design present unique challenges and opportunities for security resource and exploitation. And ISA stands for Instruction Set Architecture, that crucial concept in computer architecture that defines how software communicates with hardware. Even within a given ISA, microarchitectural implementations, like different cache hierarchies, branch predictors, or speculative execution strategies, can vary between vendors and models. These differences can mean that a vulnerability in one processor might not exist or might be exploited differently in another. Cybersecurity professionals need to be aware of these nuances when designing cross-platform defenses or analyzing malware that targets specific hardware features. With hardware virtualization, technologies like Intel VTX or AMD V allow for the creation of virtual machines with near-native performance. Understanding the CPU's virtualization extensions, including how they manage privilege levels and memory isolation, is critical when assessing risk in multi-tenant environments like cloud services. And TEE's trusted execution environments. Modern processors incorporate secure enclaves like Intel SGX and ARM Trust Zone that provide isolated environments for sensitive computations. Knowledge of the underlying hardware architecture is essential to evaluate the strength and potential vulnerabilities of these security features. By understanding the detailed behavior of CPU caches, like replacement policies and associativity, professionals can design systems that either obfuscate cache access patterns or implement techniques like cache partitioning to reduce leakage. Attacks such as Spectre and Meltdown exploit speculative execution vulnerabilities. A deep understanding of CPU pipelines, branch prediction, and cache state is necessary to implement effective software and hardware mitigations, like inserting memory barriers or updating microcode. Some attacks target the physical properties of the CPU, like voltage or clock manipulation, to induce errors. Knowledge of how instructions are processed at the microarchitectural level can aid in designing countermeasures such as redundancy checks or error-correcting codes. Detailed performance metrics, like via hardware performance counters, can be analyzed to detect unusual timing patterns that may indicate an ongoing side-channel attack. Understanding the CPU's timing characteristics helps in setting accurate thresholds for anomaly detection. When reverse engineering malware, it's essential to understand how the CPU interprets and executes code at the assembly level. This knowledge helps in identifying obfuscated code paths, instruction-level manipulations, and hardware-specific exploit techniques. Some processors include specialized instructions, like AES-NI for encryption, that, if improperly implemented, can become targets for attackers. A nuanced understanding of these extensions is critical for both developing secure software and for forensic analysis in breach investigations. For cybersecurity professionals, the intricate details of CPU design, from fundamental components like the ALU and caches to advanced features like simultaneous multithreading and hardware virtualization, form that basis for understanding and mitigating modern cyber threats. Detailed technical knowledge of these aspects enables professionals to identify and mitigate side-channel vulnerabilities, understand the microarchitectural roots of speculative execution attacks, tailor security defenses to specific processor architectures, and detect and analyze low-level exploit techniques in malware and attack vectors. In essence, a deep technical grounding in CPU architectures not only enhances the capability to secure systems against existing vulnerabilities, but also prepares professionals to anticipate and counter emerging threats that exploit the hardware itself. And these details will also help you connect the dots as you continue to study and grow and learn about these various cybersecurity threats and mitigations. getting that holistic knowledge, deepening your understanding, hearing these pieces once, twice, 1,000 times as they all merge together and as technology and your knowledge continue to advance.